Chapter 1. Starting out with a Raptor F750. Where am I? Ryan Blake woke up with a start, only to find himself lying on a beach. Ding, island check-in system initializing. Island, check-in. Welcome to the parallel world island survival. A total of 999 participants are involved in this survival journey, assigned to 888 different deserted islands. Your sole objective is to survive. Daily check-ins will grant rewards of varying tiers: Ordinary E-Class, Rare D-Class, Excellent C-Class, Perfect B-Class, Epic A-Class, Legendary S-Class, and Divine Super S-Class. Would you like to proceed with today's check-in task? Ryan Blake felt a bit disoriented, only catching the last few words. Check-in. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully checking in and receiving an S-Class Legendary reward. A Raptor F750 pickup truck. Please check your inventory. An S-Class Legendary reward. A pickup truck. Holy crap. Ryan Blake was stunned, because there really was a heavy-duty pickup truck parked about 30 meters away. This reward, it's got some kick. With a vroom, Ryan Blake floored the accelerator, and black smoke billowed from the rear of the Raptor F750. After driving only 700 or 800 meters, the system's prompt suddenly sounded. One survivor detected. Please choose 1. Combat 2. Subjugation 3. Recruitment. Ugh. Immediately afterward, a woman's scream echoed from ahead. Ryan Blake slammed on the brakes, and a woman stood in front of the car. She was wearing a flimsy shirt and tight hot pants. This woman, this figure. Even through the hazy front windshield, Ryan Blake could see the beauty's perfect curves, her long legs, her tiny waist, and she seemed quite well endowed. A pair of white tight hot pants perfectly showcased her leggy, flawless white legs that were at least 1.2 meters long. Arriving on the island and being gifted something like this felt like an invitation to commit a crime. However, combat, subjugation, recruitment, what are these options? Current check-in system level 1. 70% chance of receiving ordinary E-Class rewards, 15% chance of receiving rare D-Class rewards, 10% chance of receiving excellent C-Class rewards, 4% chance of receiving perfect B-Class rewards, 0.99% chance of receiving epic A-Class rewards, 0.01% chance of receiving legendary S-Class rewards, 0% chance of receiving Divine Super S-Class rewards. Special reminder: engaging in combat and killing another person, or successfully recruiting someone, will upgrade the check-in system level and grant priority in allocating the opponent's check-in rewards, only applicable to C-Class Excellent Tier and above. Damn, it seems my luck exploded today. A 0.01% chance, and I actually got an S-Class Legendary reward. Don't kill me. Ryan Blake was still celebrating his good fortune. The woman in front of him stared at Ryan Blake in fear. I choose to submit. Ding, congratulations to the host. The survivor Sophia Bennett has chosen to submit to you. Your check-in level has been upgraded to level 2. Level 2, check-in system. 65% chance of receiving ordinary E-Class rewards, 15% chance of receiving rare D-Class rewards, 13% chance of receiving excellent C-Class rewards, 5% chance of receiving perfect B-Class rewards, 1.5% chance of receiving epic A-Class rewards, 0.5% chance of receiving legendary S-Class rewards, 0% chance of receiving Divine Super S-Class rewards. Ryan Blake was taken aback. He hadn't said anything, yet she had already chosen to submit. His check-in system upgraded just like that. This is great. Sophia Bennett. Upon hearing the name, Ryan Blake's eyes widened. The big star Sophia Bennett. Are you that celebrity Sophia Bennett? Sophia Bennett faintly nodded, her face pale. No wonder. This figure, this appearance. Cough, cough. Ryan Blake forced himself to calm down. This is not the time for daydreaming. Survival is the priority. Otherwise, even if the world's biggest stars were given to him, he wouldn't live to enjoy them. "Did you check in today?" Ryan Blake asked. Sophia Bennett nodded tremblingly. "Don't be afraid. I never intended to harm you. Besides, meeting like this is fate. There's strength in numbers. My name is Ryan Blake. By the way, what did you get for your check-in?" Seeing that Ryan Blake didn't look menacing, Sophia Bennett boldly took a step forward. Then she pointed behind herself. Ryan Blake followed Sophia Bennett's gaze. He was dumbfounded. What was that? A pile of empty mineral water bottles. "Is this your check-in reward?" Ryan Blake looked at the stack of empty bottles, a mix of amusement and exasperation on his face. Yes, it's ordinary E-Class. Your car." Sophia Bennett frowned, pointing at Ryan Blake's Raptor F750 in confusion. "Got it from check-in." Now it was Sophia Bennett's turn to be stunned. Indeed, comparing oneself to others could be maddening. Her check-in reward was a pile of empty bottles, while his was a pickup truck. "Don't just stand there. Get in the car, it's getting dark." "Do you plan on sleeping here tonight?" Sophia Bennett shook her head, then cast a reluctant glance at the pile of empty mineral water bottles. "All right, let's take it all." Since he had a car, there was no reason to decline carrying a few bottles. Once Sophia Bennett was in the passenger seat, Ryan Blake realized that this top-tier celebrity was truly a gem. An angelic face and a devilish figure. This must be what they call natural beauty. Ding! Remote trading system activated. All island survivors can exchange resources via the remote trading platform using a barter system. Chapter 2. Getting rich by selling water. Ryan Blake's thoughts were still on Sophia Bennett when the check-in system spoke again. Soon, a floating operation panel appeared before Ryan Blake. In less than 2 minutes, resources appeared on the trading panel. 10 meters of climbing rope requires 1 bottle of mineral water. A lighter requires 2 bottles of mineral water. A detached barbecue grill requires 2 bottles of mineral water. A dagger requires 200 grams of biscuits or bread. The trading post was quite lively, with all sorts of items being sold. It was clear that these strange and wonderful resources were obtained through check-ins by the survivors. At first glance, Ryan Blake understood that drinking water and food were the most scarce resources. Ryan Blake was still starving himself, so he didn't consider trading for resources. The two drove east along the beach. Not long after the pickup left, Ryan Blake's peripheral vision caught a flash of something. With a screech, Ryan Blake slammed on the brakes. The poor girl almost crashed into the windshield. Ryan Blake turned his head to look outside. The thing that almost blinded him was a lake. Wait, a lake? Could it be a freshwater lake? Ryan Blake opened the car door, jumped out, and rushed towards the lake. Arriving at the shore, he took a sip of the lake water. It was sweet and refreshing. It was indeed fresh water. The first step in island survival was finding a freshwater resource, and he had discovered such a large freshwater lake. Sophia Bennett also followed Ryan Blake to the lake. Both parched, they began to drink greedily. The feeling of being parched was truly unpleasant. "Let's go, come with me, we need to get the mineral water bottles." With the thirst problem solved, Ryan Blake waved to Sophia Bennett. Bottles, Sophia Bennett seemed to still be processing. Selling water. With bottles and a freshwater lake, what else could he possibly need? Who said empty bottles were useless? It seemed these empty bottles were veritable money trees now. Sophia Bennett understood as well, and the two quickly moved the unwanted mineral water bottles from the pickup. They then toiled to fill all the empty mineral water bottles. After finishing, Ryan Blake eagerly opened the trading system again. 1 bottle of fresh water requires 100 grams of bread. 1 bottle of fresh water requires 100 grams of biscuits. The most important thing at the moment was to fill their stomachs. A short while later, Ryan Blake successfully traded 4 bottles of fresh water for 200 grams of bread and 200 grams of biscuits. "Here, take these 2 portions to fill your stomach first." Ryan Blake, generously tossed a portion of bread and biscuits to Sophia Bennett. You should eat more. I only need one portion." Sophia Bennett only took a portion of bread. Ryan Blake didn't stand on ceremony. Perhaps she was concerned about maintaining her figure. After satisfying their hunger, the sky began to darken, and Ryan Blake decided to stop and rest. Being new to this place, safety was always paramount. "We'll sleep here tonight." Sophia Bennett pointed somewhat listlessly at the lawn outside the car. Ryan Blake shook his head and gently pressed a button. The backrest of the passenger seat began to slowly recline backward. "Sleep in the car." Impact-resistant glass, leather seats, spacious interior. "Since I have a pickup, why would I need to sleep outside on the ground?" Sophia Bennett was clearly still a bit shy. She neither dared to turn her face towards Ryan Blake nor turn her back to him, so she lay flat, looking at the car's ceiling. Ryan Blake, on the other hand, was carefree and fell asleep soundly, until he was woken by the system's voice. "Ding! Synthesis system activated." Immediately, another floating screen appeared before Ryan Blake. 2 daggers equals 1 kitchen knife. 2 kitchen knives plus axe blueprint equals 1 axe. 2 axes plus chainsaw manufacturing blueprint equals 1 air-powered chainsaw. 2 rafts equals 1 kayak. 2 kayaks plus motorboat blueprint plus 3 solar panels equals 1 solar-powered motorboat. This synthesis system is quite powerful. As long as one has the goods and the blueprints, creating an empire is not just a dream. Ryan Blake was a little excited, so he stopped trying to sleep and opened the trading panel again. The price of a bottle of drinking water continued to rise but remained in high demand. Most people were still struggling for a bottle of water, while Ryan Blake, after filling his stomach, was lying side by side with a celebrity beauty in his spacious and comfortable luxury car. Just past midnight, Ryan Blake impatiently started his check-in again. "Check-in." Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully checking in and receiving a D-class rare reward. A super ceramic soup pot. "Please check your inventory." What is this? Super. They're even inserting advertisements. Could this check-in system be sponsored by Super? With a clunk. The pickup truck trembled slightly. Sophia Bennett seemed to be startled and suddenly sat up. "What was that sound?" Sophia Bennett pointed in the direction of the sound. "It's nothing, probably my pot just arrived." Ryan Blake was quite calm. "By the way, celebrity, you should check in too." "You can call me Sophia, or Little Sophia." "All right, Sophia, quickly see what your check-in reward is." Sophia Bennett straightened up quite solemnly, clasped her hands together, and muttered something. Ryan Blake watched Sophia Bennett with amusement. It seemed the girl treated check-in like making a wish. "Ding! Sophia Bennett, whom you have recruited, has received a B-class perfect tier reward." Holy crap, a B-class perfect tier reward. Could it be that you really need to make a sincere wish before checking in? Chapter 3. A B-class perfect fishing rod. Sophia Bennett has received a B-class perfect tier freshwater fishing rod component. Equipped with hooks and a fishing line, with a 50% probability of catching E-class freshwater fish and above. Limited to 10 uses per day. Damn, a B-class perfect tier check-in reward, a 4% chance, and this girl actually hit the jackpot. Since Sophia Bennett had already chosen to submit to Ryan Blake had priority access to resources of C-class excellent tier and above. Fishing rod, soup pot. It seems there will be fish soup tomorrow. After sleeping until dawn, Ryan Blake turned over and squinted his eyes open, only to be stunned by the sight before him. A pair of bright, clear eyes were looking at him. "Good morning," Sophia Bennett greeted Ryan Blake. A beauty is indeed a beauty. She looked ethereal even this early in the morning. Ryan Blake rubbed his eyes and yawned. A bottle of bottled water can now be directly exchanged for a dagger." Keep rising, keep rising." "I have a whole lake of fresh water. It seems bread has also gone up in price." "Don't worry, we're not eating bread today. Let's try something different." It's boring to gnaw on that bland bread every day. Then what are we eating? Gurgle, gurgle. Before the girl could finish, her stomach protested. She only ate half a portion of bread last night. Let's go, we'll grill some fish today and then make fish soup. Ryan Blake grabbed the fishing rod and swaggered towards the lake. However, just having a fishing rod wasn't enough. He didn't have any bait. Looking for earthworms would be a waste of time. Ryan Blake scanned the trading system, but no one was selling bait. Ryan Blake casually chose a chat room ID, Sun Moon Stars. He started posting in the chat room. Looking to buy bait, anyone selling? PM me. Not long after, Ryan Blake received a private message. I have bait, but only 150 grams. What do you have? Ryan Blake immediately replied, I have a few bottles of fresh water I just exchanged. Then, 4 bottles of fresh water. Too expensive, I don't have that much. Forget it. Ryan Blake played hard to get. 3 bottles, any less and I can't do it. I only have 2 bottles, I can't help it. Fine, fine, I'll list it on the exchange then. The exchange was, in essence, a place of deception, and bargaining was par for the course. After successfully negotiating the price, Ryan Blake exchanged 2 bottles of fresh water for a small jar of bait. It was called a small jar, but it was enough. 150 grams of bait was enough for 60 to 70 uses. Sophia Bennett was clearly more excited than Ryan Blake. Have you ever fished before? Sophia Bennett shook her head and muttered, I'm usually so busy filming and attending events that I've never even had the chance to watch someone fish. Then watch carefully. Ryan Blake baited the hook and cast the line with a beautiful swing. The fishing line drew an elegant arc in the air before landing in the lake. In less than 10 seconds. Ding! Successfully caught an E-class ordinary silver carp. Please reel in. The system-provided fishing rod was amazing. It only took a moment to catch one, and it even had an automatic notification. Ryan Blake immediately began to reel in faster. Sophia Bennett watched the fishing line on the lake's surface with anticipation. It bit. When Ryan Blake reeled in the fish, Sophia Bennett was so excited she was practically jumping for joy. E-class ordinary silver carp, weight 1 gin, approx. 0.5 kg. Let's fill our stomachs first, and I'll teach you how to fish later. Ryan Blake entered the exchange again. 1 bottle of bottled water, exchange for a detached barbecue grill. 1 bottle of bottled water, exchange for a lighter. 1 bottle of bottled water, exchange for a dagger. Soon, several private messages arrived. Bro, how about 2 bottles? I have a barbecue grill, your price is too steep. Ryan Blake snorted and replied, take it or leave it. He wasn't blind. Nowadays, in the exchange, except for bottled water and food, all other resources were decreasing in price. Fine, I'll buy it. What the hell? Who the hell is snatching my water? Bro, do you have any more water? Hang another bottle. Bye-bye, come earlier next time. Ryan Blake collected the barbecue grill, the lighter, and the dagger, and closed the exchange interface. He wasn't some weird collector. What use did he have for so many barbecue grills? With the barbecue grill sorted, he lit a campfire. The 1 gin silver carp quickly turned into a delicious grilled fish. It's so delicious and it smells amazing, Sophia Bennett praised. It's your turn to try. Watch carefully, cast, reel in. Ryan Blake demonstrated again. Another E-class silver carp took the bait. Sophia Bennett clearly lacked practical experience. She failed to cast it properly twice. Ryan Blake half-embraced her, guiding her on how to cast the line. Ding! Successfully caught a C-class black carp, weight 5 gin, approx. 2.5 kg. Ryan Blake was dumbfounded. Could it be that fish also liked pretty girls these days? C-class excellent black carp, weight 5 gin. Sophia Bennett seemed to have gotten into the spirit of it. After 2 more casts, she had a catch each time. The promised 50% probability turned into 100% when it came to the girl. In one morning, the 2 of them caught a total of 7 fish. By noon, Ryan Blake set up his super soup pot and began making fish soup. The rest of the fish were all listed on the exchange. Damn, that C-class black carp weighs 5 gin. Is that cheating? Damn, another 3 gin crucian carp. Which big shot is this? Crap, it looks like it's one person. Another D-class catfish. I'm so envious, I haven't eaten anything all day. The chat room had exploded in excitement. Meanwhile, Ryan Blake and Sophia Bennett were chatting and laughing while drinking fish soup. Ding, you have a private message. Please check it. Ryan Blake received a message. He clicked on it. I want to make a deal with you. Chapter 4. Maid outfit. What deal? Ryan Blake replied. I have a C-class excellent axe blueprint. I want to trade it for your C-class black carp. Axe blueprint. Ryan Blake immediately thought of something and quickly opened the synthesis system. 2 kitchen knives plus axe blueprint equals axe. Axe can easily cleave bamboo, trees, and other objects. It can also be used as a defensive weapon. The system's explanation for the axe was simple. Listed on the exchange, and I'll trade with you. Ryan Blake chose to trade with the other party without hesitation. The reasons were simple. First, C-class check-in items were already difficult to obtain, let alone blueprints. Second, the axe could be used as a tool for chopping firewood and as a simple weapon to defend against wild animals and ill-intentioned humans. As for the 5 gin black carp, he didn't care about it at all. With the perfect tier fishing rod, he had more fish than he could eat. After successfully trading the black carp for the axe blueprint, Ryan Blake eagerly opened the synthesis system again. To synthesize the axe, he still needed 2 kitchen knives, and a kitchen knife required 2 daggers to synthesize. Ryan Blake searched the trading system. He bought another dagger for the price of 1 bottle of water. Currently, he had 2 daggers, after synthesizing 1 kitchen knife. The 3rd and 4th daggers, however, were harder to find. Looking to buy daggers, 2 bottles of fresh water, Ryan Blake exclaimed in the chat room without a hint of heartache. Sophia Bennett was startled to see Ryan Blake holding a kitchen knife. Her hand slipped, and she spilled the fish soup. "And no, I'm sorry," Sophia Bennett apologized frantically to Ryan Blake. Although there were no seasonings, the fish soup lacked some flavor, but being able to fill one's stomach was difficult enough, let alone drinking fish soup. And she had even spilled the fish soup. "It's okay, are you burned?" Ryan Blake didn't care about the fish soup at all and checked Sophia Bennett's condition. The girl seemed fine, but the shirt she was wearing was ruined. The shirt was already thin, and now that it was wet, Sophia Bennett's perfect upper curves were clearly visible. The situation was quite awkward. "Does anyone have women's clothes?" Looking to buy a few pieces. Ryan Blake turned his attention back to the chat room interface, and after shouting about buying daggers, he also shouted about buying clothes. Crap, buying clothes, women's clothes at that. Could there be a rich second generation on the island? I can't even get enough to eat, and he's buying clothes for the lady. Heaven is unfair. Great God, how many ladies do you have? The chat room started to make wild speculations again. Sophia Bennett shyly covered her chest with her hands, afraid of baring herself. Not long after, someone actually private messaged Ryan Blake. "I have a size S cosplay outfit, how about it?" 3 bottles of fresh water. The other party seemed to have a clear objective. However, cosplay, this check-in system is really impressive, it gives everything. This, it seems, a bit. Cough, cough, I haven't received any good clothes for now, only one that cosplay outfit. Ryan Blake consulted Sophia Bennett's opinion. Sophia Bennett was clearly uncomfortable now. Her body smelled of fish, and it was wet and unpleasant. "It's okay, it's good, thank you." In this situation, why be picky? It was better to change into something. "All right, I'll trade with you." Since the girl agreed, Ryan Blake didn't dally and directly accepted the other party's offer. "Ding, congratulations, you have obtained an exchanged resource." A girl's cosplay set, a maid outfit. A maid outfit. Now Ryan Blake was stunned. He couldn't have imagined, even in his wildest dreams, that it would be a maid outfit. Cough, cough, here you go. He could only feign ignorance and hand over the maid outfit he had exchanged. Sophia Bennett flipped through it and seemed to realize the problem. Now, the situation was truly awkward. Sophia Bennett didn't know whether to change or not. The other party had paid a considerable price and worked hard to exchange clothes for her, and she couldn't be picky. However, this maid outfit it was too. To ease the awkwardness, Ryan Blake pretended to walk towards the beach, maintaining a distance of at least 50 meters from Sophia Bennett. Sophia Bennett hesitated for a moment, then leaned against the pickup truck and began to change. 5 minutes later, Sophia Bennett appeared in Ryan Blake's sight, dressed in a maid outfit. A beauty is indeed a beauty. She looked beautiful in anything. At this moment, Sophia Bennett exuded a hint of playfulness amidst her sexiness, and a touch of mystery mixed with her cuteness. I'll check again later. If I find any good clothes, I'll buy a few more. It's fine, this one fits well. Anyone could tell that the girl was just being polite. Fortunately, Ryan Blake had another deal in the making. Someone else privately messaged Ryan Blake. I have 2 daggers and 5 bottles of fresh water, firm price. Deal, no problem. Ryan Blake, who came from a well-to-do family, did not hesitate. It was just a few more bottles of water. He had a whole lake. Another 2 daggers were acquired. Ryan Blake then synthesized another kitchen knife. With both daggers in hand, Ryan Blake became more cautious this time, fearing he might startle Sophia Bennett again. He deliberately turned his back to her and studied how to synthesize the axe. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Your current resources are sufficient to synthesize a C-Class Excellent Tier Axe basic model. Would you like to synthesize it immediately? The system was quite user-friendly. Synthesize. Ryan Blake answered impatiently. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have obtained the axe basic model. 2 axes can be further synthesized to speed up chopping efficiency. It seemed the axe could be upgraded. Ding, system notification. Chat room user Sun Moon Stars has successfully synthesized a C-Class Excellent Tier Axe. System special reward. Chapter 5, Weapon Prices Skyrocket. Upgraded Sun Moon Stars check-in system to level 1. Damn, awesome, directly upgraded 1 level. Crap, so whoever synthesizes a high-level item first gets a system reward. The chat room exploded again. Ryan Blake himself hadn't expected there to be a special reward. The person who sold him the blueprint earlier was probably regretting it the most. Level 3 check-in system. 60% chance of receiving ordinary E-Class rewards. 16% chance of receiving rare D-Class rewards. 13% chance of receiving excellent C-Class rewards. 8% chance of receiving perfect B-Class rewards. 2% chance of receiving epic A-Class rewards. 0.99% chance of receiving legendary S-Class rewards. 0.01% chance of receiving divine super S-Class rewards. While most people's check-in systems were still at level 1, Ryan Blake had already upgraded to level 3. The probability of obtaining high-tier rewards from check-ins had further increased, along with a 1 in 10,000 chance of obtaining a divine super S-Class reward. Sophia Bennett, still somewhat constrained in her maid outfit, also received a system notification, shyly tugged at her skirt and asked, Level 3 already. Ryan Blake nodded. A tall tree catches the wind. We need to hurry and improve our defenses. Everything has 2 sides. The users in the exchange and chat rooms could bring him benefits in certain situations, but there was also a competitive relationship between them. If the system hadn't distributed everyone evenly across different islands, some people would have already resorted to using force to solve problems. Ryan Blake swung the axe at a tree trunk as thick as his thigh. With a creak, the trunk snapped. The C-Class Excellent Tier tool was indeed extraordinary. Help, there are wolves! Suddenly, a distress message came from the chat room. "What's going on? There are wolves here too," someone exclaimed again. "Ding, the 24-hour system protection period has expired. Please ensure your safety, all survivors." The system even gave a reminder. The atmosphere in the chat room instantly became tense. Damn, we haven't even solved the problem of getting enough food and water, and now we have to deal with wild wolves. Help, I think I saw a wild boar. Luckily, I hid in a tree. Hey, is the person who just spoke still there? Unfortunately, the first person who called for help had fallen silent. Sophia, get back in the car. For safety reasons, Ryan Blake immediately told Sophia Bennett to get into the car. He had no idea if there were any wild animals on his island, and only the car offered the safest refuge. While Ryan Blake had his car and weapons, ensuring his safety, other survivors were not so fortunate. Looking to buy daggers, anyone selling. Daggers, as primary weapons, immediately became highly sought-after items. With the axe as his weapon, Ryan Blake naturally didn't care about small daggers anymore. Do you know how to use weapons? Although Ryan Blake didn't really expect a celebrity to know how to wield axes or knives, he still tried to ask. Sophia Bennett somewhat listlessly shook her head. However, after a moment, she excitedly exclaimed, "I know how to use a bow and arrow. I even won competitions." He hadn't expected the celebrity to have such a hobby. Ryan Blake immediately scanned the synthesis system. There was indeed one. Wooden bow and arrow, D-class check-in weapon, can also be obtained through synthesis. Wooden bow and arrow, 2 bamboo stalks, 1 cowhide string. It was unlikely to obtain weapons directly from the trading system at the moment, but Ryan Blake discovered someone selling cowhide strings. 5 cowhide strings requires 2 bottles of drinking water. 4 cowhide strings requires 2 bottles of drinking water. Ryan Blake, with quick eyes and hands, grabbed both listings. Crap, who snatched my cowhide strings? I was just about to withdraw them. Damn, my cowhide strings were also snapped up. Wow, you're amazing. When Sophia Bennett saw Ryan Blake holding 9 cowhide strings, she guessed that the person who snatched the business was this great god in front of her. Thanks to your reminder. Ryan Blake gave Sophia Bennett a thumbs up. Wooden bows and arrows were only D-class weapons. 2 wooden bows and arrows could be synthesized into a crossbow. And 2 crossbows, plus a firearm blueprint and an ironware blueprint, could be synthesized into a pistol. There were no bamboo forests nearby, so he couldn't make bows at the moment. Ryan Blake drove the pickup around the lake before the sun set. On the north shore of the lake, he found a lawn covering an area of several thousand square meters, and north of the lawn was a cave. Passing through the cave from south to north led to a large beach with beautiful scenery. Ryan Blake surveyed the environment. This place was indeed a good spot to build his base. With the cave to the north serving as a natural barrier, and the lake to the south guarding his backyard, all he needed to do was to block the passages on both sides of the lake with fences, and then build a wall on the north shore of the cave. This way, this grassland of several thousand square meters would become his kingdom. Ryan Blake was contemplating the future. Suddenly, "Ow-wow," a low wolf howl echoed from afar. There really were wolves.